Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what is probably the most important part of preparing for Mount Kilimanjaro, and that is all things packing. If you haven't watched already, I do have tons of other Kilimanjaro content. I have my hiking experience of an extra tips video and my review of going with G Adventures, so those will all be linked in the description, and if I haven't posted them yet, they're coming, but the vlog is definitely up. Today I'm going to be talking about all things packing for Mount Kilimanjaro. This is super important. You definitely need to be prepared. That's why you're here, and I'm so excited for you. So let's get started. Hey travel friends, just wanted to pop in really fast and remind you that I am a certified travel advisor with Fora. With being a travel advisor, all of my services are free to you. I can help you with all your travel needs, especially with booking G Adventures tours. Now that I have been to Mount Kilimanjaro and gone through the entire hike and the process and the packing, now I can safely say that I am an expert and can help you choose which route you want to do, choose the right company, whether it's G Adventures or a different company. This is a very difficult trip to prep for, so having someone to guide you will definitely come in handy. So if you're planning on taking the next step in making this adventure become a reality, you can reach out to me at my email, AnnaRichter@ForaTravel. It's also in the description, and I'd love to help you turn one of your bucket list items into reality. But that's all for me now. Back to the video. The minimum size for a duffel bag I would recommend is 90 liters. You definitely want to be 90 or up, but 90 is a very good size to be at, and all your stuff needs to fit inside except for a sleeping bag. I fit all my stuff inside and then put my sleeping bag on top. As a general rule, when giving your bag to the porters, the maximum weight is 15 kilograms or 30 pounds. So that is the max amount of how heavy your bag can be. They do weigh your bags before leaving your accommodation to go to the gate, so your bag will actually be weighed. And this is just a general rule for the porters because they are going to be carrying your bag, and it's not right to make them carry anything more than that when they're already going up this mountain with a giant bag. But this weight limit does not include your day pack, so you can have as much stuff in your day pack as you need. I wouldn't recommend making it too heavy, just bring your essentials, but everything that I'm talking about in this video will go in your duffel bag and be under the weight limit. I'll get there. Let's get into what I packed, starting with clothes. For base layers, this does depend on whether you run hot or cold, the season you're climbing in, and the route length. I did the Machame 6-day route with G Adventures in August of 2025. I was on the mountain for the minimum amount of time, so if you are going longer, you might need a few extra clothing items, but this is just a great place to start. Or if you're staying on the mountain for 6 days, this is a perfect packing list for you. So for base layers, I would bring 3 long sleeve shirts, 1 short sleeve shirt, 1 pair of hiking pants, 1 pair of shorts if you do run hot. I did not need any shorts on this trek. Even in the rainforest, I was too cold for shorts. Some people in my group did wear shorts, but I definitely run cold. So if you know you run hot, maybe bring a pair of shorts for the first day. 1 windproof rain jacket, 1 pair of waterproof pants or rain pants, and 1 poncho or bag cover. I used the poncho as a bag cover, but if you already have just a bag cover, you can just bring a rain jacket, whatever combo you want to do. So for warm gear, I would bring 1 to 2 thermal long sleeves, 1 to 2 pairs of thermal leggings, 1 pair of liner gloves, 1 thin puffer jacket, 1 fleece jacket. I wore this pretty much every single day. I never took it off, honestly. 1 warm beanie, 1 pair of fleece sweatpants. I wore these every single night and on summit day. I wish I had brought a hoodie. I only had a fleece that didn't have a hood, but something with a hood would have been really nice when it was windy or when I was sleeping in the tent. I really wish I had a hood instead of having to wear a hat and a jacket. FYI on that, bring a hoodie, you won't regret it. So for summit gear, you need a summit jacket, summit pants, which are just ski pants, thick gloves, and make sure your liners fit under your thick gloves. Mine did not fit, and this was a problem. A headlamp for summit night, or what I used is this light beanie that I got from Amazon. It's just a regular warm beanie with a light in it. We use these in the winter when we're walking the dogs. It came really in handy for this. It didn't lose any charge. I ended up not really turning it on much because it was so bright out from everybody else, but going in and out of camp, going to the bathroom at night, that's when you're going to need this. So this was a really good purchase from Amazon. And 1 balaclava or a scarf. I had a balaclava, and as a cold girl, really came in handy. It kept my head very warm, and I was able to pull it up over my mouth when the wind was really blowing. Luckily, it wasn't too windy for us on summit night, but if it had been, I would have really needed it. I wore that, my beanie on top, and my hood from my summit jacket. I was just okay. I wasn't even hot. That tells you how cold it is up at the summit. For shoes and socks, I would bring 4 pairs of hiking socks, 3 pairs of warm wool socks, preferably merino wool. This is known as the best wool for keeping you warm and to pill moisture. I brought 1 pair of really thick, fluffy socks that I wore to bed. I also wore a pair of wool socks under. My feet are always freezing, so this really worked out for me in my sleeping bag. Obviously, you need your tried and true pair of hiking boots. I have never hiked seriously before, so I bought these boots just for this trip. After doing a lot of research, I decided on Merrell Moab 2 waterproof boots. These worked out really great for me. I really enjoyed hiking with those. And then the last thing you need for shoes and socks is 1 pair of comfy camp shoes. These should be shoes that are easy to get over your big socks when you have them double layered at night. I had my Birkenstocks, but I had to let out the straps a little bit because my giant fluffy socks barely fit in. But these just should be something easy to slip on and off that you can wear at camp and that's comfortable. So that is it for clothes. Now I'm moving on to the must bring extra essentials section. So for must bring, you need to have good sunglasses that will filter out the UV light, preferably with peripheral coverage. The sun is a lot more intense when you're on the mountain, and as you go higher and higher, it will be stronger. At the top, people have suffered from snow blindness if they haven't had their sunglasses because there is snow at the summit. Just be wary of that. Definitely have good sunglasses that you can rely on. The next extra essential is a Nalgene water bottle or any water bottle that has a top like this that you can just drink out of and that doesn't have a top that you would have to clean constantly. This is an essential for when you need to brush your teeth or on summit night when your camelback freezes and you can't drink out of it. Speaking of, the next essential is a camelback. You need to have this when you hike. You wouldn't want to have to whip out your water bottle every single time, and it can carry a lot more water than your water bottle can. So definitely have a camelback or unbranded water bladder. Also works too. You need a sun hat. As I said, the sun is very intense. Honestly, after the second day, I was wearing my beanie every single day. So that was my sun hat plus my sunglasses. The only time you need it is on the second day because first day you're just in the rainforest the whole day, so there's not sun coverage. I would just have some kind of hat to reduce your sun exposure. A lot of people had baseball cap or something like that. The next essential is sunscreen. I mean, I've said it enough times, the sun is strong on the mountain, so make sure you have sunscreen. I've seen horror stories of people who forgot to put sunscreen on their hands and they have horrible sunburn and windburn on their hands. Play it safe. Just apply it. Remember to reapply. You don't want to get an awful sunburn on Kilimanjaro. That would be terrible. The next essential is snacks. This is a big one. Make sure they are snacks that you know that you love. Definitely don't bring any that you're experimenting with. Bring stuff you're gonna want to eat because if your appetite declines like a bunch of people's did, you're gonna want to have the option to eat something from home, something you know you're gonna love. You need food because you need food to fuel your body. So make sure you bring lots of snacks that you enjoy eating. And don't forget a special summit snack. I wish I had some candy or something to reward myself once we got up there because I did not eat for probably 13 hours on summit day, but I think that would have been a nice treat for myself and I probably would have eaten something. So just bring your favorites. The next essential is electrolytes. So I brought Liquid IV. Just bring your favorite electrolyte mix. I didn't have a favorite, but Liquid IV was having a sale. I just got their lemon raspberry and it was really good. So that worked out for the best. I think that was a big reason why I wasn't dehydrated, even though I wasn't drinking that much water, because Liquid IV helps your hydration level so much, as well as gives you electrolytes. So just make sure you're going with a good brand and a flavor you like, because you're going to be drinking it the entire time. Another essential is baby wipes. You definitely are going to want something to wipe yourself down after every day, because the washy-washy water only gets you so far. I use the wipes on everything except for my feet, pretty much, because I put my feet in the water. They do give you a bar of soap with the washy-washy, so you can actually wash things. Just having micellar wipes where I can wipe my face down and see all the dirt that's coming off my face every single day helps my mind. Like, thinking I'm not as dirty as I was before. And obviously, since you can't shower, baby wipes are a great option to wipe yourself down, make yourself as clean as you can be on this mountain. Another essential is deodorant / antiperspirant. Obviously, it's personal preference, depending on whatever you want to use, whatever you need to use. I will say I didn't sweat much on this mountain because I was always cold. I really only sweat coming down from the summit because all my summit gear, I was way too hot. So I started sweating because it was so hard. But that's pretty much the only time. But definitely have deodorant, if anything, because everybody gets a little funky. The next one is a microfiber towel for the washy-washy. You're going to need some kind of towel to dry yourself off after you use that, to dry your feet off, to dry your hands off, your face if you're going to use it for your face. So a small microfiber towel will definitely come in handy. I used mine a lot and it was really gross by the end. Portable charger is definitely one of the biggest for us in these modern times. Definitely have enough batteries. Luckily, my brother came with me, so he had 2 big batteries. They were a little expensive, but they held charge the entire time, and he wasn't sleeping with them and keeping them warm at all. And they held charge, so that was pretty amazing. My tiny battery lost its power in 1 charge. I forgot to sleep with it the first night, so I'm not sure if that played into it, but this only lasted 1 charge for my phone, so that was pretty disappointing. But bring a reliable battery for sure, because you're going to want to document your entire trip climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And if you couldn't take pictures of the summit, that would be really sad, just because your phone died. So my last essential is your e-visa. For the US, it is required for you to get an e-visa. Not sure about other countries, but definitely required for us. You're required to get the multi-entry. The single entry is not available for us for some reason, so it is a fee of $100. If you see anything more than that, it's not the right website. Go to the official Tanzanian website. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to message me at Anna Richter or comment down below. But the visa process was pretty fast. The payment link was just a little weird when I paid with card, but just give it some time and it'll probably go through. Okay, now these are just optional extras. I have all of this and more on my Amazon list, so that's linked down below. I have a whole Amazon list dedicated to Kilimanjaro and all the stuff you're going to need. I definitely did a giant Amazon order right before this trip to prepare, especially if you haven't done any hiking trips before like me, you're going to need all of this stuff. Feel free to head there. To start off, one thing that came in clutch for me as a cold-blooded person was a hot water bottle. I used this for the last 3 nights, and without it, I don't know if I would have slept, to be honest, because I would have been so cold. I even put on extra layers one night and I was still so freezing. If I hadn't had that water bottle, I would have been done for. So another optional is a sheepy. If you don't know what that is, it's this. Basically, for girls, it helps you pee like a guy, so you don't have to like squat and pull your pants all the way down. And I just thought it was very convenient. I had never used one before. No one else on my trip had one, but I thought it was really convenient and I felt less exposed because lots of the pee spots are not completely covered like all the way around. So I felt much better not having to pull my pants all the way down and just being able to pee. And also carrying around toilet paper is so much work. So with this, you can kind of wipe and keep it moving. So I really enjoyed it. It really depends on personal preference for this one. Another thing that came in clutch for me for being so cold was hot hands. I just got a multi-pack. It had hot hands, the super warmer, and toe warmers. I used all of them. The super warmer, once we got to base camp, did not really heat up because of the altitude. So when there's less oxygen, it's harder for them to work, I guess. Luckily, the hot hands, those worked perfectly, but the super warmer, I guess, was too big, so it wasn't really working. And the toe warmers would have worked if I had put them on correctly, but unfortunately I put them upside down, so that was my own fault. But I would have killed for those to work on summit night. That was my own fault, but would have been so nice. Another extra is a buff that you can use to keep the dust out of your mouth or your nose if it gets really windy. People also put it on their heads to keep their ears warmer. I honestly didn't use this at all during the trip, but the porters and the guides use them all the time, so personal preference. Another extra, but it was an essential for me, was toe tape. I used this micropore tape that I also use at night to tape my forehead because I like scrunch my forehead while I sleep. I don't know. But I used it as toe tape to keep my blisters from hurting, and it worked perfectly. This tape is so cheap and way less than like Moleskine, any of those brands. Definitely buy some of this if you're worried about blisters, or just in case you get blisters, use this instead, especially if it's on a hard spot like side of your pinky toe. This worked magically. The next essential is a travel pillow. I used this little one that I stole from United, sorry, but it's a really nice pillow. It's like memory foam. It's the perfect size. It's small. It was honestly really great for me to have something to put my head on inside of a sleeping bag that wasn't like a jacket. So if you have anything like this, I also have one in my Amazon list. A pillow is definitely something great to have, and I think I slept so well because I had it, plus the hot water bottle, of course. The next essential is hair ties. It's super windy. Keeping your hair up out of your face, you're gonna need it. Keeping my hair in braids was the easiest for me, especially when your hair starts to get a little oily, but luckily it wasn't so hot that like your scalp's sweating, so it shouldn't get oily too fast. So for summit night, I brought string earbuds back to the OG with the dongle. If you still have a phone that the dongle works, luckily I do. This is how I listen to music the whole time, because if you're using your AirPods with Bluetooth, it runs your battery down way faster. I listened to music for like 8 hours and my phone was only at like 83%. So back to the days where we didn't use Bluetooth, but this kept me hyped for like a few hours. And if I didn't have music, I honestly don't know if I would have summited. I really needed it to keep me motivated. So another extra you could bring is a nice camera. You should bring some way to document this trip because it's probably once in a lifetime. So whether that's a journal, a camera, you know, vlogging, any kind of way that you want to document it, bring something, because once you get off the mountain, you're honestly gonna forget. And it's scary and crazy to say, but I can't remember the exact way I was feeling during summit night even though I remember it was awful. I can't remember. My brother brought his really nice camera with his smaller lens lens, so it was less heavy. And he got really great pictures of the landscape, of us on the mountain. So bring some way to document the good and the bad, because this trip is truly once in a lifetime. Something that I definitely needed was moisturizer. The air is very, very dry on the mountain, so my skin was so dry. I was very glad that I brought a good amount of moisturizer because I need it everywhere, on my face, on my neck, on my hands. Any skin that was exposed got pretty dry, so definitely bring a thick moisturizer. And going off of that, definitely bring a good chapstick, because your lips will definitely get chapped being exposed to all the elements, especially when you go up to the summit. My nose got really raw during the summit because it was running the entire time, and after wiping it so much, it got so chapped and raw. Luckily, my chapstick technically is like a full body stick or whatever, so it can be used anywhere, and I definitely saved my nose because it hurts so much. So just bring a good moisturizing lip balm. For the girlies, bring extra liners, pads, tampons, whatever you use, because you could get your period unexpectedly. I talked about this in my tips video, but the altitude does affect our cycles somehow. Luckily, I didn't experience this, and I'm not sure if anybody else on my tour did, but it would really suck to get your period during this experience because, oh, that would be a nightmare. I don't even want to think about it. But in case it happens, you want to be prepared. You want to have your stuff. Bring extra just in case. I also brought extra little trash bags, and instead of just trash bags, I brought a roll of like dog poop bags. They were the perfect size and perfect packaging. I ended up only using a few, but these worked great as trash bags. There is a community trash bag during camp, but while you're hiking or if you're just in your tent, it's just easier to have something like that. Another extra is tissues, so definitely bring a small tissue pack. I told you my nose was running. I wish I had these because it was brutal. Also, if you're a girl, you can use it as toilet paper if you need to, so definitely bring a small travel pack of tissues. And if you're not going to take Diamox for some reason, even though I totally recommend taking Diamox, I got these altitude sickness patches off of Amazon. We didn't end up needing them at all, but I had them just in case. They're supposed to be all natural, so if you don't want to take medication, apparently this helps you acclimatize. This is another option if for some reason you don't want to take the Diamox. That was all for extra essentials. Now I'm quickly going to touch on what G Adventures has available for rent and what I rented from them, because this has to do with packing. If you're doing extra travel before or after your hike, which I hope you do because you're going all the way to Africa, being able to rent your gear is definitely a great option. I rented 4 things from G Adventures, but here's their full list of everything you can rent plus prices. I'll let you pause. So I rented a sleeping bag, hiking poles, summit pants, which were basically ski pants, and I went in on a toilet with 3 other people. So we got the mobile toilet. What's already included in the G Adventures price is a sleeping pad, your tent, all meals, all water, but the toilet should be included. I honestly cannot believe that it isn't. And I honestly think a sleeping bag should be included as well. But anyway, not having to pack a sleeping bag was definitely a great option, but they have everything available to rent, and it's not too expensive, to be quite honest. If you are doing extra travel, renting is a really good way to not have to overpack. And anything you're not taking up the mountain, we stored at our hotel. It was totally safe and secure. I got everything back. Nothing was touched. So they do have a storage option available. Pretty much everybody used it because we're not taking everything up the mountain. Nobody should. So that is what you're going to do with your other stuff if you're not using it. Okay, now I'm going to touch on medicine for the last section. I already talked about Diamox a little bit before this, but basically Diamox is an altitude sickness prevention medicine. You take it before ascending and you can stop when you start to descend. So definitely pack Diamox if you're going to take anything. I absolutely recommend packing Diamox and taking it. It's prescription only, but just ask your doctor. If you tell them you're doing this hike, I don't see why they wouldn't prescribe it. This isn't really packing, but your yellow fever vaccine is required to enter Tanzania. So you should definitely have your yellow fever card. That is an essential for packing because they do check. As far as other medicine goes, I would take Imodium, which is antidiarrheal, laxatives, which solves the other problem, anti-nausea medicine if you can get it, pain medicine. Lots of people had headaches. Lots of people were constipated. I got one headache. Luckily, I didn't deal with the other issue, but being constipated on that mountain, I'm sure was a terrible experience. So definitely bring any medicine you might possibly need and anything you take regularly. Your guide should do a daily health check 2 times daily. Ours did 2 times daily. He asked what we were taking just to make sure that whatever you're mixing is going to be okay. They do ask about your medical history a little bit just to make sure everything you're taking is going to work together, I guess. But they definitely asked us at the beginning, like what we were taking and why and what it was. But yeah, definitely have a little pharmacy with you. There's no access to a pharmacy on the mountain, obviously, and you just want to be prepared for any problem you may face because that would really suck to not be able to medicate to solve whatever problem you have. I think that is the end of my packing video. If you follow this packing guide to a T, then you should have everything you could possibly need, especially with my extras that I have on my Amazon list. But everything is linked in the description. I also have a written out packing list linked if you would rather have it in that format. But yeah, feel free to check out my other Kilimanjaro content. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment or message me on Instagram at Anna Richter. But what a ride. I watched countless of packing videos before this and I felt pretty prepared. Honestly, I would have only brought a hoodie. I think that was the only thing that I wish I had on the mountain. But thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.